Hi everyone, I hope you're doing great today. Okay, so today I want to try my best to see if I can deal with a particular question that I have received very often. A lot of these people, they keep asking me, oh, Brother Joseph, what is going on? I watched your video, and after watching the video, I got my deliverance. I decided I was never going to have anything to do with masturbation again. But shortly after I made that decision, I started having wet dreams. Okay? Now, you begin to wonder, what is going on? Why am I having all these wet dreams? What's happening? Does that mean my deliverance is not complete? Does that mean that the masturbation spirit is still around? Well, I'm going to explain to you why you're having wet dreams. And I've tried to explain this in my other video. The reason you're having wet dreams, for people who have watched my soul tie videos, once you get involved in sexual intercourse with anybody, soul tie is immediately established. Now, we've also understood from these videos that the moment you want to get involved in sexual intercourse, you're going to need someone else to be able to do that. So you cannot have sex all by yourself, which is why I told you guys that anybody who is indulging in masturbation is actually engaging in a sexual intercourse with another entity, because sex is not possible with just one person. It takes two. And so the question we always ask is, if it takes two to have sex and masturbation is self-sex, is a sex you're having by yourself, who is the other person, the other party you're having sex with? We've already come to know now that the other party you're having that sex with is a demonic entity. And that's how you come to know or have what we call the spirit husband or the spirit wife. Now, if you have been indulging in masturbation, it's very, very clear, and you should know this, that a soul tie or soul ties have been established between you and that demonic entity or the demonic entities that you have been having all this sexual intercourse with by virtue of masturbation. And if those soul ties have been established over the years or months or weeks or whatever period of time you indulged in that evil thing, if those things have been established, you should not expect that they would just get wished away the moment you stop masturbating. So when you stop masturbating, the thing that happens is the soul ties still linger. They still stay there. And it is through these soul ties that these demons are able to access your soul again, because your dream life is operated from your soul area. So in the time that you're having a wet dream, it is that same soul tie that is creating a bridge and access for these demonic entities to still come in and make love to you through your soul. And when that happens, you wake up and you find out that you're wet. Sometimes some people remember the dreams, sometimes they don't remember the dreams. The soul tie that existed all that while that you were having that sexual intercourse through masturbation with the demons is what is giving them access to come to violate your privacy through your dreams. And that's what results in what you call the wet dreams. So now here is the solution I gave in one of the videos, and I'm going to give it again today. So God gave us an inspiration to create specialized prayers to break loose from soul ties. And these prayers, thankfully, came for both men and women. And I posted a video to this effect, and we also have those prayers in a print format. Now, I have shared these prayers with people several times in the past, and the video is still out there on my YouTube channel. You can scroll down and you will find the video there. I encourage every single person who is experiencing this wet dream thing to go ahead and begin to pray those prayers as frequently and as often as you need to pray them. As you keep on praying those prayers, having made your decision to run away from masturbation, you're going to realize that over a short period of time, that whole wet dream nonsense is going to end, because you need to evacuate the satanic evil energy that has been deposited in the regions of your soul. Remember, I've explained to us before also what actually happens when you have sex. You know, many people think that it is the male organ coming to meet the physical female organ. That's actually what you call sex. No, those are preambles enables. Those are the things that actually enables the actual sexual intercourse to take place. Real sexual intercourse is translated to mean the intermingling of two spirits. When two spirits are intermingling like this, and the end result of that intermingling is that both of them melt into each other and become one. Now, there's a message I've always preached, which I believe I have to preach again, from the book of Genesis, where the Bible talked about two shall become one. Of course, you know that there's no way that two can become one physically. There's no way that a man and a woman can come and their bodies will come together. So if that doesn't happen, then what is God talking about when he says that two shall become one? How did we come about that whole theory of two shall become one? 1 + 1 is equal to 1. How did you come about that? I have a special message I preached to explain that, to break that. Because if you look at the book of Genesis, where the Bible said that God made a woman for Adam, you don't know that when God took the ribs and all the things he took to go and make Eve, that he also separated the spirit of the woman from that of the man. Do you understand that? That happened in the book of Genesis. It's a whole different topic altogether. Many of you do not know that when God breathed the breath of life into the man, that the life there is not singular, it's actually plural. It was the breath of life. So the two spirits, the spirit of the man and the woman, were molded together inside the man, Adam. So when God was now separating and taking ingredients with which he was going to make the woman for the man, he also separated the two spirits that were blended into one. So it is only during sexual intercourse that these two spirits are able to come and come together. Between these two spirits in adulthood, there is a magnetic field that exists. That's why a man has an attraction towards a woman, and it culminates in what you call sexual intercourse. And when that sexual intercourse happens, aided by the physical union of the male organ and the female organ, the two spirits come together and they actually achieve that same oneness that happened inside the body of Adam in the book of Genesis. I told you it's a totally different topic and I'm going to deal with it at a later date. But this is what is going on. So you can imagine that when you go into a sexual intercourse with somebody, your spirit and that person's spirit come to intermingle and they finally become one. If the spirit in the other person is a demonic entity that is in charge or that oversees the ancestral curses or limitations in their family background, it means that your own human spirit is eventually going to intermingle with that demonic entity and eventually going to become one with that demonic entity. So that when the sexual intercourse is over, both spirits are supposed to detach and go back to the souls, right? Everything will detach, even the male organ and everything will detach and they will go back. But you have no idea that most often than not, when you intermingle and bond with a demonic entity, your spirit and that of the entity bonds. Most often than not, there are 2 or 3 scenarios you must expect. Number 1, all the curses and the poisons that come with that demon are already automatically injected or infused into your own spirit, so that you actually come out of that sexual intercourse becoming a totally different person, because your spirit is really who you are. Your spirit is who you are. So you have a contaminated, polluted spirit automatically just by having sex with someone. That's the first scenario. The second scenario that many people don't even think about is that the demonic entity can actually arrest your spirit and refuse to release your spirit. And because he has arrested your spirit, and this demonic entity is the spirit of Satan himself, they can arrest your spirit and chain your spirit in the pit of hell. But then what happens to you again? Because you cannot walk around with just a soul and not have a spirit. Now, one theory you have never heard before, and I'm going to tell you now, is that because that demonic entity was able to harvest your spirit and you gave it to them willingly, legally, and they've arrested it, they now have the right, they have won the right to replace your spirit with their own another demonic spirit of their choice. So let me explain to you how this works. So you see, when Christians say, I have given my life to Christ, you gave your life to Christ, but you're still walking around the whole place, entering your car and moving. How can you say you gave your life to Christ and you're still walking around the whole place? Actually, it is true you gave your life to Christ. You know why? By that confession you made, your spirit has been given to Christ. And that's why the Bible says, for my life is hid with him, with Christ. So if you give your life to him, then the scripture is right when it says, for my life is hid with him. So now, if your life is hid with him and he has received your spirit, he has also won the right to replace your spirit with his own spirit, because you cannot be left with only a soul without a spirit. That's why when he takes your life, as you give it to him, he immediately, in the same instant, actually replaces your own spirit with his spirit. And that's when the scripture now says, for it is no longer I that live, but Christ that lives in me. You see how that works? So whoever receives your spirit, has won the right to replace that your spirit with his own spirit. If it is God you gave it to willingly, God replaces that spirit with his spirit. And then it is no longer you that live, but Christ, God's spirit, that lives in you. If you go through sexual intercourse or masturbation and give your spirit to a demonic entity and they go and tie it in hell, they win the right. Satan wins the right to replace your spirit with any spirit of his choice from the pit of hell. That's why someone will go into a sexual intercourse and come out and you become an entirely different person. You went to have sex with someone and you come back, and a day or 2 days after, you realize that you're feeling to smoke. You want to smoke weed. You want to try drugs. You want to even have sex with babies. You feel like you want to start sleeping with women who are like 80 years old, 70 years old, or men who are like 85, 90. You're having some weird cravings, terrible urges, terrible desires creeping into your mind, and you're thinking, what's going on? This does not happen in my family. No one in my family has ever done this. What am I feeling for? Why am I like this? You can't understand, because the you that you were before you went into that sexual affair has died, is gone, is in hell, now is arrested. It's now a different spirit that is inside of you. And you engage in another situation where you masturbate, they can keep on changing the spirit every time you masturbate or indulge in a sexual intercourse, maybe with a prostitute or someone who has a terrible demon inside of them. They can keep on arresting the spirit, changing the spirit. It's actually called spiritual exchange. That's what happens when anything that has to do with sexual intercourse, whether it is with a human being or with a demon through masturbation, it's always a sexual spiritual exchange that takes place. So you are exchanging your spirit for a spirit that is from the pit of hell. So you totally become a different person. And people are saying, what is going on with this guy? Look at the way he just deteriorated. And they will not know that it's because you slept with just one person and they took your spirit and replaced it with a demonic spirit. And that's how you become. There are some people that they don't even replace the spirit. And like I told you about the first scenario, they just poison your spirit. You come out after sleeping with a woman, you finish as a human being. People look at you, they won't recognize you anymore. Sicknesses upon sicknesses upon sicknesses. All kinds of curses are upon you. Things that no other person from your family is going through, you are going through them. You are having all kinds of misfortunes. You don't know it is because that demon in the other woman you slept with or the guy you slept with had already melted and poisoned your spirit with all the poisons that he was carrying from those other person's background. All the ancestral curses that work in their family, they've transferred it to you alone. Your family members don't have it, but you have it by virtue of linking your spirit with the spirit that is from the pit of hell. So whichever way you look at it, it's a lose-lose situation. With human beings, you will say, well, it depends on whether I sleep with someone that is possessed or not. How will you know? With masturbation, 100% every time of the day that you sleep with that demon, you have these poisons injected into you. You have your spirit removed from you. You get addicted to pornography. You get addicted to all kinds of rubbish because your spirit has been taken out. Another spirit has been put into you.